Hey there, Hammer fan. Welcome back to HammeredHead. Today we're looking at Gasgano with Pit Droid from the Episode 1 collection. Before we get started, I'll just give another reminder about the Clario Memorial fundraiser we're doing for the Polaris project. More info in the description of this video, but if you want to donate or want to learn more about the organization, there are links down there. It's a great cause. Now looking at the figure, this is one of the more iconic pod racers, I'd say. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure this guy came in second place after Anakin in the Boonta Eve pod race. But he looks pretty cool. He's got 4 arms and a really long neck. So I think he looks pretty funny. Also comes with a pit droid. That looks really good too. So you can never have too many pit droids or sort of world building stuff like that. And we do get the Comtech chip. So you know what that means. We'll be doing a little impersonation there. Gasgano. With his multiple arms, thrill-seeker Gasgano is uniquely suited for the extreme sport of pod racing. Piloting a cockpit pulled by 2 dangerously powerful engines, he relies on a crew of pit droids to keep him in the race when the action heats up. And there are his lines there. He's got 3 different things going on. Awesome. Yeah, say what you will about Episode 1, but we got a bunch of fun, cool-looking aliens out of it. And this guy's, I think, one of the better ones, personally. You know, he's no Ben Quaternaros, but he's still pretty cool. So let's open him up and see him with his pit droid. All right, so here's Gasgano with pit droid. So there's good news and bad news about this figure slash set. The good news is, I call it a set because it's really like 2 figures. You get Gasgano and the pit droid. And they're both like, you know, normal to scale size dudes. The bad news is the pit droid is unfortunately sculpted such that his left leg is shorter than his right leg. You can kind of even see it on the video here. And it's not like a little bit, it's like pretty significantly shorter. Like a few millimeters. So he really kind of can't stand up on his own. It's just not going to happen. And he also has no peg holes. So the reason I think that is because they kind of considered him an accessory, not another figure. Maybe they didn't put quite as much, you know, attention to detail when they were making that sculpt. And it's unfortunate because he looks really cool, but he can't really stand up on his own. So you kind of got to lean him against something, or you know, I don't know, maybe just have him sitting down. But other than that, I think the pit droid itself looks really cool. He's got a couple antenna, pretty decent paint scheme. And overall, a really good sculpt. He's got swivel arms and legs and a ball joint head too. So he does have like normal action figure articulation. It really just comes down to those legs not being properly sized. That he's just kind of screwed. Now, Gasgano is also very well done. And he can stand up on his own. But this sculpt is obviously very unique. I don't really know any other aliens like this guy kicking around in Star Wars. Definitely not any action figures. But there's tons of detailing on his outfit. He's got a really cool pod racing suit. Especially on his chest, there's some really fine paintwork there. But all the way around, he's got some accents and stuff going on. His feet are a cool sculpt. And then obviously having 4 arms, he just looks really cool. All of his hands are very well done. So he does have a swivel neck. I don't like moving it because it feels a little tough to move. And his neck is so long that I just feel like it's going to break. So it does move. Just be extra careful when you're doing it. And then all of his arms have a ball joint shoulder, but they don't have a huge range of motion. So they can go up and down perfectly fine, but left and right, they're not doing a whole lot. And then I believe he's got a swivel waist too. I guess that's a waist. It's like up here. So he's got a little bit of articulation, not a whole lot. He's got nothing in his legs or hips, so he can't sit down. So even if you did have his pod racer, I don't know how you would be able to fit him in there. But appearance-wise, I think he looks pretty good. Same with the pit droid. They both just kind of suffer from that sort of articulation / posability issue. But in terms of how they look, I can't complain. We do get the sound chip looking thing. It's got a pretty cool picture of him up there. Nice pod racer shot. Back, number 22, name Gasgano, status Tatooine pod race pilot. Then, if you'll recall, he had 3 voice lines. So why don't we try those out? Atima, Gasgano wins. P donkey Skywalker ras ta pa human ni kulka. Pushi wumpa sabulba. So I'm not going to translate those for you. If you speak, you know, Huttese, you can translate that yourself. Or you could just read it on the back of here. But yeah, there you go. Pretty riveting character, and I'm glad they got his most iconic lines that he never said on that ship. So that does it for Gasgano with Pit Droid. Like I said, I think these guys look good, but the sculpts are definitely noticeably out of date, and I am really disappointed with that Pit Droid. I was really excited to have him in the collection, walking around a Tatooine scene, or a pod race, or a garage, or something like that. But just the fact that he can't really stand up super easily is pretty disappointing to me. But other than that, I think these guys look great. They are pretty background characters, especially Gasgano, so they don't need to be doing a whole lot. I'm probably going to put him in a cantina or something, just so he can be hanging out with some of his pod race buddies. But, you know, an update would be good. We're never going to get it. So if you like the pod racers or this type of alien, then I'd say check them out, or, you know, pick them up if you get the chance. But let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Be sure to follow on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out the Patreon page. And don't forget, stay hammered.